Number 30 for Brandon.
For the captain. Captain's number 30 pick. Now, this one was really hard to work into the list. I'm not the same opinion as my friend here. It would be the latest Godzilla movie, believe it or not, made number 30. I'm not too big on the whole kaiju thing, but I love monster movies. Very, very well animated. They were very thorough in the story plots. There weren't a whole lot of holes that could really ruin this movie for me. They didn't stick to the original creatures, trying to make them look similar. They just made them look brand new to start off with a whole new, bad guys to use on it. Worked really well. Story was well plotted. There's no real big holes in it. That's all that counts for me. The sci-fi effects, I'm a big special effects person. I loved every last minute of it. I didn't like the main actor, but that's a personal pick. But all in all, if you're a Godzilla fan, it's worth going to go see it, if not owning it.
Number 29 for Brandon.
My number 29 pick is the latest Star Trek movie, not Star Trek 2. It's the first installment of the latest movies of Star Trek. I believe this was very well played out. They definitely picked their actors quite well. I am still a big Star Trek fan, no matter what. Deep Space Nine, favorite part of the series. And honestly, it felt really good to see this film. It was a really good film that I couldn't stop watching. I've watched it probably about 100 plus times already. None of the characters overdid their parts, which is what you see in today's, actors and actresses. They weren't underplayed, and what's really cool is that I'm a big, while I love CGI and all that, I'm a big action fan. So this movie, even though it's a sci-fi, it felt more like an action than anything else, so it definitely gets 2 thumbs up from me. At least they didn't drop the ball with it, right?
Number 28 for Brandon.
This is one of mine from a childhood, from when I was a child. That's called A Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, for those of you out there who have a problem with today's, their holiday specials and all that, this is from a twisted perspective of mine, and it's one of my favorites, on the simple fact that it was completely different compared to what you saw on the big screen at the time, and to this day, nothing's compared to it. Nightmare Before Christmas, while it's a little bit of a musical to it, a bit of a song movie, it's actually well put together. It does make you root for the main character. It has comedy in it, so it has a lot of good things about going its way. But there's nothing like lost along translation, like small points for no reason. There's none of that. I liked how dark the songs get in it, without going too far. So they say it's on borders of Christmas and Halloween. I think that everyone who goes out and sees this would actually like it and probably add it to their collection.
Number 27 for Brandon.
This would be a comedy. I'm big on the whole stoner comedy stuff. This is called Out Cold. This particular comedy I enjoyed a lot. It's got a lot of basic dumbassery in it. That's right, I made up a word for it, I had to. That you have with, basically it's like combining a comedy with the basic antics of Jackass. But it was more plot-wise. It was all plotted out. It didn't have random stupid shit. Oh, this guy jumped off the house for no reason. No, he jumped off the house and snowboarded down the hill. It had a reason to it. I think that this movie is one of those movies where if you're like into the whole like Jay and Silent Bob movie films things, this is one of the ones that is right up your alley. I diversify myself with what my picks will be because I watch just about every genre, and this one in particular, great for comedies, right up there on the scale. That'll make you laugh and make you want to watch it more than once. So, if you like comedy, Out Cold's your movie.
Number 26 for Brandon.
Okay, I'm a big anime fan. I like my anime. It's kind of awesome, but I specifically look for a realistic anime that's not too out of the box. Now, you want something in your anime, you want every bit of realistic that you can get. Now, a lot of these characters have a little bit of exaggeration to their forms, and their abilities are obviously out of this world, but the whole thing is believable. And if you love ninjas, you'll love this movie, because this movie does nothing but ninjas. It's called Ninja Scroll. Ninja Scroll is one of those ones that are right up there with Akira. It's one of those top of the shelf movies that if you're going to go for broke, and you want an anime, and you big time anime guy like I am, or even sci-fi, this would be good for sci-fi. The top 2 animes you can get are Ninja Scroll and Akira. Akira technically above Ninja Scroll, but only because it represents motorcycle, blah, blah, blah. Ninja Scroll's got everything in it. It's got hierarchy, it's got the basic Shogun montage to the whole thing. It's got everything you could ever want. Plus it's got gore. It does have brutal killings. It has poisonings of an entire town. It has got underlinements for mortality. It's got all the picks for a good, solid anime that's enjoyable. And at the same time, it's animated, but it's not a kiddie movie. This is technically a rated R anime. So if you want something that's animated, that's out of the way of the whole, gotta catch a ball, this is your film. This will make you look at anime in a whole different way. It takes you from Disney and plops you right in the middle of an animated war scene. It's really good. And the main character, who's got incredible talent, has gone to a second sequel. I've not been able to see it yet, but I heard really good things about it. So Jubei is going to be one of the biggest characters in anime for a long time to come, and it's one of those big animes that you gotta see. It's not going to be considered epic because anime isn't up there yet, but I believe it's one of the top, I'm going to say, 5 in the world worth seeing. Number 25 for Brandon is Ted 2. Now, for those of you who've just seen this in theaters, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who thought, hey, it's a teddy bear, screw it. This is a movie that's so funny, it's got smartassery in it. That's right, meant of the word, smartassery. And it's got more smartassery, and it's got more smartassery. It's a really good film. If you're a comedy buff, you really love to laugh, this is a great film. Again, I like comedies. Comedies are awesome. Comedy and action, my favorite ones. Comedy in particular, this movie impressed me. I thought it would suck, because usually when you get a sequel, they start to go downhill. This one went uphill. It was really good. They did a great job filling it out. I'm not going to give any of it away because it's too damn funny for you guys to watch. So, just so you know, this movie was not a flop. It was a great movie. Go and see it, and literally in the first 5 minutes, you'll be laughing so hard you'll probably shit your pants. So, go see it.
24 for Brandon.
Okay, I'm a big Studio Ghibli fan, period. Studio Ghibli is that animation that's actually brought to us through Pixar, which is a branch of Disney. And now they're straight, it says, from Pixar, featuring from Disney is Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli releases, okay, all of them. The one that I've gotten really hooked on recently is called Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke is one of those ones where it delves into Japanese mythology and some of their older stories. Really good. You get some of the less known, they used to call them fiends, goblins, ghosts, a lot of different terms for them. Demons was the big one. A lot of mythological creatures that you don't see in any stories nowadays. You have to really go far back. We're talking like, oh look, there's a library from 200 years ago. We'll go in there, we'll search, and there's a book that hasn't been touched in 150,000 years, and there we go. This is old stuff that we haven't seen in a long time, and they put into a new age cartoon. It really works well. And none of them are like, a lot of them have a lot of over exaggeration to their figuration, but they're smooth characters. They don't change shape as they go from scene to scene. They did a real good job of the animation. It was very believable. Even the characters were, honest to God, you expected this type of reaction from humans. And it was just on that level of wow that it was just like something new. Like the first time you ever saw a Harry Potter film, it was like, wow, this is all new. You know? The first time you get introduced. And this was one of those films that's really good. Studio Ghibli has a lot of releases that are really good. You'll see them, Studio Ghibli mark, you got Neighborhood Totoro, Spirited Away, stuff like that. You'll notice it right off the back. They're not cheap because it costs money the way he does the animation, but it's worth every penny. So if you get a chance, at least go see it because it is worth seeing. But once you see it, just an FYI, you're going to want to own it on your own collection. If you have a collection. Some of us just have a downloaded, but if you have a collection, this is one of the ones you will want to add to it.
Number 23 for Brandon.
Okay guys, I'm jumping back into my anime, my anime list. Now I mentioned earlier, Ghost in the Shell. Now Ghost in the Shell has got an anime series called Standalone Complex. This is the movie, the one that first series was based off of. And it is very good. It's about corporate and government espionage. And it is really, really well put together. And it is definitely an action / sci-fi. It's definitely sci-fi because it's from the future where people are I can't say robotized. They are androided. I guess they are basically turned into half machine, half humans, right? And already people are like, oh, well, this sounds kind of weird. Well, you gotta understand, they don't look like they are. They look like normal people, but they do have the added speed, stamina, and strength that you would expect from something like that. And for it to be about espionage, I mean, big time, we're talking government plots. This movie has everything you could want. Anybody who likes the war movies would like this anime as long as they were willing to keep an open mind to the fact that it was animated. Because this film is awesome. Now, would I recommend kids see it? No. Are there nude portions in it? Somewhat. Is that the main portion they focus on? Hell no. It's a good film. It's solid. It has everything you'll ever want in an anime. Unless you're one of those types of people. But this is one of those ones where, like I say, if you are an anime buff, it's top shelf. There's only about 10, 15 in the world that are that great of anime, and this makes the cut big time. And it has basically made the name in the world for anime. So if you like anything animated, you need to see this film. Make sure that you get the English dub one if you don't like to read the subtitles. A lot of people like to read the subtitles and listen to their actual original character voiceovers, but I like the English dubbed one because it's just a little easier for me to track. I don't like to read when I'm watching a movie. It kind of throws my brain off. But the animation's good. The characters are solid. Some of them are a little... but it's intense. The sound effects and the depth that they go into detail, and it looks like basically a rundown, realistic version of what you'd see in a slum in Japan in the current age, maybe a little further in the future. And that's where it's supposed to be, is about 30, 50 years in the future. And it's really good. So I say, if you have the time, you have an interest in anime or even espionage or military movies, go see this film. It's worth giving it a shot.
Number 22 for Brandon.
Number 22. Now, I went back to comedy because, you know, I love to laugh. This movie is a Will Ferrell movie, so you know somebody's going to get pissed off at him. Land of the Lost. Oh my god, so hilarious. Just the T-Rex and it was worth seeing it, okay? And then Chuck, oh my god, dude, this movie was one of those movies where the first thing you think is, oh my god, it's so retarded, it's funny. It's one of those films where if you want to laugh because somebody's completely ignorantly going, I'm right, you're wrong, and then something bad happens, so this is a movie you want to see. And it gets bad. It goes from bad to worse to, he's screwed, to, okay, it's not too bad, then it goes right back to worse. It's a good movie. Go see it. You like comedies, it'll be in your collection like that.
21 for Brandon.
Trigun, Badlands Rumble. This is an anime. Again, I'm a big anime fan. Not a lot of them made it up to my higher levels, but Badlands Rumble is one of those ones where everything they say pretty much makes you laugh. Real good film, real good anime. Again, no sexuality in it, but it was really, really well put together. Showed the talents of each one of them, and there was a good plot to the whole story. Basic badass gunslinger going through desert world, and he trying to do the best he can because of what he's lived through, and all he wants to do is make sure that everybody abides by the rules and helps each other. We're on a desert planet. I'm going to kill you and take what's yours. Happens all the time. So he tries to stop that type of stuff. Well, in this movie, it's more important. It's more like saving a town. And it's really, they're sitting there going, well, how is he going to manage that with him being just this jackass? Except what they don't know is this jackass who is playing the part of the jackass actually has the greatest gunslinging talent in the entire known galaxy. We're talking about the best gunman ever. Could literally sneeze a bullet out of his mouth and kill you. Real good gunfighter. So we're talking talent, we're talking about, you know, character basis, very high action scenes, same time nonchalant things that you were like, did he really just say that? Really great comedy and sci-fi at the same time. That went on an anime. I recommend you at least see this once. It's one of those movies where you'll feel like, that was awesome. You will say that more than once. So go see this movie and enjoy.
Number 24, Brandon.
Here's a good one you guys are going to like. I'm a big fan of comedies that are like pot-based. Here's a good one. It's called Grandma Boy. Grandma's Boy is hilarious. It stars this dude, I can't remember his name. Warning, pot affects your memory. Basically, his roommate spends all of their their rent money on hookers, a hooker massage parlor thing, and they get kicked out of their apartment. Who's the guy who plays the animal again? That one comedian guy? Can't remember his name.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know, right? He's that guy. You're like, duh. It's not Adam Sandler. We'll just say this: hilarious all the way through. Kevin Nash makes an appearance in that one too. Grandma's boy has basically this pothead, gets kicked out of his apartment, moves in with his grandmother and her two roommates, and just all these debacles because weed. It's one of those films where right when you think it couldn't get any funnier, it does. It does something worse about it, and all of it basically leads up to one giant push for the character. Well thought out, completely ridiculous. At one point, I believe his dealer ends up buying a lion. Just saying. This movie is so fucking hilarious. Go see it.
Number 19 for Brandon.
Okay, number 19. Again, another pop movie. I've got a lot of those on here. This is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Jay and Silent Bob are some of the best iconic characters, I believe, in the world today. And if you like comedy, they are the top. They are the funniest guys you can run into, aside from Ralphie May. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is hilarious. Basically, some studio wants to make a movie based off the comic book series that they're the original characters for. They were the basic manuscript for the characters, the character basis. And they were not involved in the monetary exchanging of rights. Well, they are the basis for the comic book set series, so to make the movie they have to get a movie check, period. That's the whole thing for the whole movie, is just to get their movie check. It was like Monty Python, except weed was involved. And a monkey. Yes, and a monkey. Oh, and that guy from Dawson's Creek, he was in there too. Yeah. That guy got screwed. There was a lot of great, just hilarious scenes in this movie. A lot of people downplayed it, but there's a lot of Jay and Silent Bob movies, which you'll learn with my list, that are just really hilarious. And this is one of those ones where if you're feeling like you want to laugh at something and you're tired of the same stuff, go see it. Great movie. That's my pick for 19.
Number 18 for Brandon.
Number 18. Oh, look, I'm going back to Jay and Silent Bob. Clerks 2. Not the first one, which was black and white, which was still awesome. Clerks 2 had so much raunchy humor in it that it was hilarious. This is one of those films where you're one of those people that are just deprived. You like to see stuff that's really sick and twisted. This is a good movie for you. This is one of those ones where it's like that awkward humor. You're just like, oh God, he's not doing that. Tell me, oh, I keep looking, I can't. It's one of those films. Real good characters. Oh, no. Real bad characters doing real bad things, but in an entertaining way. This is one of those movies where you got Jay and Silent Bob again, the most two iconic characters that I think in comedy today, with the most foul, one of them not even a speaker, and the other one never seems to shut up. And everything he says is so foul. And it's just like, I think I grew up knowing a guy like that, It's one of those films where you look at it, you watch it, and you're just like, what other movies were these guys in? I'd like to go see them. This is one of those films that makes you've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, you see Clerks 2, and you're like, let's go see the first one. Let's go see the other films that there, and there's like 10 of them. And again, really funny. And all of it's about a Mick job. That's right, they work at like a McDonald's or something. I think it's called Movies. That's great. Now, out of all the films that they've made, Clerks 2 is one of the top of them. I think it is the funniest. Not the original, not to be said to be mistaken as being the most original, but it is one of the funniest that they have ever made.
Number 17 for Brandon.
Okay, number 17 is one of my old favorites called Super Troopers. This is another comedy that's about backward-ass police officers, highway patrolmen, that are just raunchy. Again, this is one of those ones where you see it and you're just like, did they really just do that? This is a comedy that will make you laugh. I have a lot of comedies in store for you guys to pick out, and I guarantee you watch this, you will laugh. That will be all the thing I'm going to give you on that one, because that one's just too good. You're going to have to see it if you want to know what it's about. Besides police officers fighting other police officers.
16 for Brandon.
All right, number 16. I'm going to speed around this, make this really clear. Number 16 is a movie called Let's Be Cops. This is a recent film. Now, let me make this as clear as I can. If you saw Let's Be Cops and liked it, go see my number 17 Super Troopers. If you saw number 17 Super Troopers and liked it, go see number 16 and go see Let's Be Cops. It was really funny. They're both hilarious. Guys pushing the limits with the cop thing and what they can do. Again, there are scenes where you're just like, they actually did that? And again, this pushes the boundaries with that awkward comedy portion. And it's really good. If you like to laugh like I do, and I love to laugh, this is a movie you're going to like to see.
15 for Brandon.
Number 15, this is one that's going to be one of those Disney classics that will last forever. Hotel Transylvania. Even for my age, I like this film.
Not Disney.
Really? Are you sure?
It's animation. It's not Disney.
You sure? Okay.
I own the movie. It's not Disney.
Okay. This is one of those movies that will be out there forever. This is one of those movies that rank up there with things like Beauty and the Beast. It's going to be there for a long time, and people are going to want to have this in their collection. Was it a family movie? Yes, it was. Did it have any serious parts in it? Not really, but it was really good, really well put together. I don't think that there's anything better than an old-fashioned Adam Sandler movie unless it's actually animated.
Well, there was a couple serious moments. Remember, I don't want to spoil too much, but remember the whole relationship with the Dracula and remember the wife scenario?
Well, yes, that was part of the when they fully undid the tale of the whole thing, the whole plot, the whole story. That was a little more serious. You're absolutely right, and then turned into a joke right after. So, Hotel Transylvania is one of the ones that should make your list, and just make sure that if you're one of those people out there who have a family and you want to have good wholesome entertainment, this is on your list to get.
14, Brandon.
Okay, I picked 300, not the Rise of Empire, the original 300. This movie had such an impact on us for movies that it has changed the way we watch them. This movie was amazing. Out of all the action films I've ever seen, this movie felt really well put together. It was a suspense action film that had some of the most classic characterization in it I've ever seen. This is a movie where if you're an action buff, you gotta see it. If you're a war buff, you gotta see it. If you like history, you gotta see it. This is one of those movies that will be in a collection for a serious watcher who likes to watch serious scenarios. Very well put together, awesome movie. Now it's going to be my turn for picks number 10, for picks number 11, 12, and 13. Now, I reserved these three in this way because they're all part of a series. Now, I'm a big fan of some of Vin Diesel's work. None of it Fast and Furious before I even go there. Before I even skip to that. I'm sorry, I'm a Riddick fan. I loved every Riddick movie. Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick, and straight up Riddick, the third one. All three of these movies were excellent. They are well placed, well versed, and the character never changes. He is the same badass throughout the whole thing. And he is technically the bad guy. That's the funny part. These movies have you rooting for the bad guy by the end of it. In the first part, he's the scariest motherfucker there. And suddenly he's the good guy. He's the big sword. He's the guy to get you, alive, even though he'll kill you. In the second movie, he's the guy who's just trying to stay alive and save a family of people he had saved earlier from a threat that's interstellar, that's completely horrible, which never seems to work out for him. And then he ends up leading the other bad guys. That was even better. Then the third movie comes in. The bad guys he was leading betrayed him. Who didn't see that coming? And he survived. I'm like, ooh, they left him alive. They left the guy alive who's wanted on every fucking planet he goes to, who can take his dislocated arm and go clack. They left that guy alive without even, he doesn't even scream when he does it. I'm like, dude, this character is well placed in sci-fi horror flicks. This was great film. This is something that if you need something to watch that you've never seen before, especially never seen before, and you're going to go ahead and watch it on Halloween, or maybe you want to do a scary movie night, this is something you would like. This is really top notch for the horror area without being truly about gore, more about violence. This is a good movie set. I'm not going to bash the fact that it's pretty close to being almost as good as the Alien series, but it was really good for being humans. Really good. Very, very imaginative worlds that they made. and this worked out really well. I have no complaints about any of it, not a single bit of it. So if you want something a little darker than usual, and you like rooting for the bad guy, the baddest guy, go see these in order. It goes Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick, and then straight up Riddick. Those are the 3 movies. He has an animated version, but that didn't make my cut. Those 3 are like really good, and see them in order, you'll love it.
So wait, which order does it go? 13, 12, and 11? Like which would be 13, then 12?
So Pitch Black would be 13, Chronicles of Riddick would be 12, and Riddick would be number 11.
Okay.
I consider them tied because that's just, you gotta watch them in order, no matter what.
Now 10 for Brandon.
Okay, I'm doing a lightning round, so you're gonna get real fast with these ones. Top 10 is John Wick. John Wick is one of the first Keanu Reeves movies that I love. I liked Matrix and all that stuff, but it's the only Keanu Reeves movie I love. John Wick was awesome. It's about a retired mafia hitman, and we're not talking about just any of them. We're talking about the top of the top, the toppest, killingest, most motherfucker that they ever had, retired. And their newest thugs, who are retarded, killed his dog and stole his car and beat him up in the middle of the night while he, from out of nowhere, and left him alive. And those guys are part of the mafia that he rose from the bottom, from the ground up. He built their empire for him. And those guys, one of them is the head's son. So you can imagine the mafia movie just for that setup. That setup alone, and it has more to that killing the dog thing. You'll like that portion. You'll see how intense that throws the thing. It's good. Even John Leguizamo goes in this one, and he plays his part perfectly. You see anger and a complete and utter hysteria, and he's just like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy's in my shop after he did that. It's great. You're gonna love this film. This film is an action mafia film, and it was great. It's like shoot 'em up minus the soundtrack. It was darker than that. It was way darker, and it was good. Well put together piece. Keanu Reeves, even though he only talks, his native tongue is Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves acts as Keanu Reeves. He did a great job in this one. He emoted a lot better, and at the same time, whew, damn, he is so believable. Really well played out. Go see this film. I don't care what your favorite type of film is. This is one you're gonna like.
There. 9 for Brandon.
Pacific Rim, lightning round. Pacific Rim, awesome animation, awesome monsters, awesome power scenes. This is a film that will make you begging for a sequel, and thank God we're going to get one. So if you love CGI like I do, I'm sorry, Preston, if you love giant robots, Gundam style, and if you love giant monsters, Godzilla, you're going to love this film. And of course, if you like Hellboy, he's in here too. Not as Hellboy, but that actor, and he plays pretty similar to the character.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman. Perlman! Yeah!
Awesome.
So, go see this movie. This movie is one of those movies that will go into your automatic sci-fi collection immediately. This is the new age sci-fi. This is where it's going, and this movie opens up doors for all the next set of movies that are going to be coming out. Just like how Avengers is blowing it open for all the superhero movies, Pacific Rim is going to open up to Gundam actually being a live action film and a bunch of other things that we can't even begin to fathom. I look forward to seeing all the creations of the next couple of years from this film.
Number 8 for Brandon.
Okay, I'm sorry to all you Star Trek fans who are going to be really upset about this, but I consider every Star Trek movie ever created to be a meh. Even Star Trek, the newly remade one, was okay. This is the only Star Trek movie that I actually liked, and it got really high on my list. So don't be surprised when I tell you, Star Trek First Contact is my favorite. Out of all the Star Trek films, out of a lot of movies, it's one of my favorite movies because it has the Borg, one of my top 3 favorite type of characters. You got the Borg, the Jem'Hadar, and of course the Klingons, my 3 favorites. And Borg is actually top of my list because they're the most intricate, interesting creatures ever. Because they could be made out of any creature. So what does the original Borg look like? That's a movie they should have done. This movie was great. It has time travel, effects on the world, great special effects. This movie has it all. I recommend that if you like anything that has to do with space, sci-fi, let's see here, cybernetic creatures killing things, like if you like Terminator, you probably like that. This is a film for you. This is a film you're going to want to see. Time travel, great film. You'll love this film. Go see it. I don't recommend the other ones. It's only if you're a Star Trek buff would you go see them. But this one in particular, you can watch it out of sync, and you'll love it.
7, Brandon.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this one because everybody hates Mel Gibson. But you know what? His best work, in my opinion, The Patriot. I loved The Patriot. To this day, it's one of those films I watch maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. Real good movie.
Do you own the paint?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I saw the.
I actually have the extended cut that actually is almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, because I saw the
Yeah.
Patriot. Raspbian City. I didn't know if you would like that movie or not.
No, I have it. There's a lot of good movies that I have, and this is where they start getting really, really specifically good. And The Patriot, I know what you're thinking. If you guys can drop your issues with Mel Gibson, doesn't mean you have to like agree with anything with him. Watch this movie. He does a great job. This is a really good movie. Shows loss. It's back in the history era, and it's really accurate. This is the type of things that they went through, and this is what people had to deal with to become greatness. This is what greatness. This is how greatness becomes someone in the past. Was they did something above and beyond insane. It doesn't happen here anymore unless we do something really freaking crazy. But it's one of those films that you watch and you're just like, wow. It's just thoroughly answers any questions, anything that could happen from it, and it's good. You hate the villain. Boy, howdy do you hate the villain. And the main character, all you feel is like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God, he's screwed. Oh my God, they're killing his family. It gets great. It gets intense. And it's one of those films that you need to go see, okay? So,
Number 6, Brandon.
all right, guys, this is where my list turns almost solely to action. This is where my action buff comes in. I love action films to a certain degree. This film had a lot to offer when it comes to anything. Samurais, basic history, everything you could ever want to see.
Is this what I think it is?
This is The Last Samurai.
Yep.
This is one of my favorites. This should have made it top 5, but there's just, like I said, top 10 is the best list that I can give it. And I got number 6. The Last Samurai fulfilled everything I ever wanted to see in a film, aside from comedy. There wasn't much comedy in it, but there were films where it just went, I'd gladly kill you for free. That was the best line. The whole thing. Besides, they're all perfect. It was great. This film is worth seeing over and over and over again. It's one of the few movies that I actually bought when it was brand new. That's right. I paid all $25 to have it back then. This was a good movie. Go see it. And once you do, you'll want to own it because it's one of those films that goes straight into your collection.
5 for Brandon.
Okay, top 5. Lightning round again. Gladiator. How can you have top 5 without having Gladiator? Russell Crowe's greatest film he's ever been a part of. Gladiator is going to be the best film he'll ever be in my opinion. Unless someone does something really amazing. But Gladiator was one of those movies that literally it had a plot where you're fight. You got the guy. You got the what is that? Sorry, there goes my retardation. It's got the good guy, but he's been beaten down in a way you cannot imagine. But he was, top shelf. He was one of those guys where you're just like, wow, he's just up there. He's one of those guys of power, and then he falls to the bottom. He couldn't get any further where he got, and he gives up on life, and then he turns and decides he wants revenge. And how do you get revenge on the emperor? Oh my God! It's a Caesar challenge. It's just really awesome. If there's a movie that I could recommend for you guys to go see, if you're looking for like a challenging movie to watch, the movie that shows this guy going through challenges over and over again, this is your movie. A little bit of gore, awesome fight scenes, excellent plot, the whole thing. Even the emperor going insane. Awesome movie. Go see it.
4 for Brandon.
Number 4. Well, I haven't done a hero movie, so I'm gonna throw one out. Captain America, not the original one, and not the Winter Soldier. The first Captain America that was introduced. Was it 1999 or was it 2002?
Wait, are you talking about the recent one
Yeah.
before Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
That's 2008, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm getting old. 2000. Okay. That Captain America. That one he said.
The one that had
Really?
Johnny from Fantastic Four play him, right?
Sure. Real great, real well put together. We've seen like these hero movies where they've kind of dropped the ball, where the plot loses a portion here and a portion there. This one is really great. It has a lot of history based on it, and they didn't really change the story. It was really well put together. If you're into the Marvel characters, this is a really, out of all of them I've ever seen, this is the top film. Beats out things like Ant-Man right now. So far. We still have Deadpool coming out. But yeah, if you're an X-Men fan, all that stuff, go see Captain America. I think it's one of the best films that they've ever made yet.
Top 3 for Brandon.
Alright, so once again I have to preemptively say this. I don't care about Mel Gibson's past and who he is as an actor, or who he is as a person, but as an actor he is one of the greatest ever. And his role played in the movie Braveheart, which is my pick for number 3. Braveheart has been one of the best things I've ever seen. You know, I've seen actors try and over try. This one has been just dead on, and he did a really great job, really believable. This had a lot of impact on my life as well because I wasn't into the whole gore thing or people getting, you know, slaughtered. But even in the battles, it was good. It was just really heightened sense of, you know, like, oh my god. Really well put together. They didn't skimp on the scenes. They didn't skimp on the storyboard. They didn't even skimp on the movie. The movie was like almost 3 hours long. Great movie. Obviously not a family movie.
Obviously not.
Yeah, he got a little bit of that aggression out.
Yeah, especially all the asses in that movie too. For that one scene with all freaking show their asses to their opponents.
That was the best part.
That was great.
This movie had everything in it, and it was worth saying. If you're one of those people who like history, because it is based off a history story, It's not entirely accurate, but it's pretty accurate even with the names. It is a very historically accurate reenactment.
Very long too. It's a very long movie.
Yeah, it's one of those films that you're going to want to put the time in for, but at the same time, you're going to like it. So if you're into history, you're into war, you're into, you know, Mel Gibson playing things insane, that's good too. All 3 of those put behind this movie, real good, made my top 3 easily.
2 for Brandon.
Alright guys, you've been waiting for this one, you knew this one was coming. My number 2 pick is one of the greatest sci-fis of all time. In fact, it's one of the best, in my opinion, best Bruce Willis movie ever made. That's right, The Fifth Element. Now, for everybody out there who's going, what's that? I'm sorry. I just want to apologize. The Fifth Element is an epic film. It's one of those movies that actually creates a whole new world when it comes to the abilities we have for filming and everything. It opens up actors and their abilities are seen publicly in a way to where they can actually be seen used in different movies. This actually opens up their careers. This movie was amazing. Well put together. All the characters were well designed. All the aliens were well grafted. And they are grafted. They are not CGI'd into the thing. They are actually suits. Really great special effects. Love the explosions. You can't have Bruce Willis in a movie without having some kind of explosions and gunfights. Loved it all. I had a few problems with the shapes of some of the what are they, the spaceships.
Yeah.
But besides that, it was great. It was actually really great. It's an end of the world, end of the universe type of movie. End of days is not quite right. That's more biblical.
Yeah.
It's more of a end of the universe. It's more of an apocalypse versus anything else. Really, really great. And Mel Gibson did a great job. Chris Rock.
Oh no, it was Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker was one of the most annoying, entertaining pieces of crap I have ever seen. I think if it wasn't for this one, he probably wouldn't have gotten into the freaking Rush Hour movies. He did a great job. Yeah, it was all good.
And just to let you know, not only is this a personal opinion for Brandon, this is 101 sci-fi movies you have to see, and one is actually The Fifth Element you gotta see. So, see right there.
What
that's
number they have it in there?
No, this is it just put a list on 101 movies that you have sci-fi movies, and Fifth Element is one of them.
This is one of the top of my list because this is one of those movies where you start watching and you literally cannot walk away from it. So is my next one, just a heads up, but you literally you can walk into this movie like almost at the end and you won't be able to leave until it's over. It's just that good. It's like scene for scene, everything is great. Great storyboard, great action, great suspense, great smart assisms. I think it's going to be one of the greatest movies of pretty much all time eventually when we get around to doing something like that. But yeah, I think that out of all things that I've seen a lot of movies. This is one of the best ones, and that's why it gets my number 2 spot.
Brandon, number 1.
My number 1 pick, here it is. You ready for it? It's the Smurfs. No, that'd be really ridiculous, wouldn't it? We talk about a lot of things when we say our number one picks and stuff like that. And one of the big things we always say back and forth about these movies is that it's something that we literally can't walk away from. We could literally flip the channel, see it, and just like, oh, I'm stuck. I gotta watch the whole thing. But it's because there's a connectivity to just this basic storyline where you emote with the actual actors. You actually feel the movie out. And one such movie that really got me was The Shawshank Redemption. A lot of people are into things like Scarface and Godfather. I never was. The Shawshank Redemption is basically a jailbreak movie, and honestly, it's so well thought out. The storyline's really, really good, and you get small miniature storylines inside the main plot. Really well done. You got characters you hate. You got a character who you absolutely hope gets it in the end. You've got the main character who you just keep feeling bad, like, damn, life keeps shitting on him. And of course, you got the token black guy. Yeah. Hey, Morgan Freeman, props to you, buddy. Everybody loves Morgan Freeman.
Come on, that voice is awesome.
Every time he comes up, he comes into the picture and explains something convoluted, he earns a freckle.
Yep. South Park.
I love it. I honestly think that, Morgan Freeman was the best actor in the entire movie. Best supporting actor, too. So either way you look at it, he's just like the best part of the movie. And without him, it wouldn't have worked. But this movie has got everything you want in a movie. And I think that if we were to do something on a global scale of, top 100 movies in the world, best movies in the world, I think this would actually at least make the top 10. Easily.
Oh, definitely. It's still considered. Like, I was talking to Brandon the other day, and I was looking at IMDb because, a lot of people don't really like Rotten Tomatoes because that's all actual critics. IMDb is more like fan base. If I remember, IMDb, the top two that are actually tied for a 9.2 out of 10 is Shawshank Redemption and The Godfather. And from what I remember correctly, from last time I checked, I think Shawshank Redemption beat Godfather IMDb, but just barely. So that's really impressive for if something else actually based off something off Stephen King, and it's really one of the best films ever made. Although I haven't seen it, I don't. That's really weird, but it's just so everybody's heard about this movie. We'll just say that whether
you haven't seen it, there it is. Great movie. Great movie.
We'll put a picture.
Go see it. This is one of those movies that you will love forever. This is one of those movies that once you've seen it, you're going to want to go find it and buy it. This is one of the ones that will be in your collection forever. So, that's my number one pick. I hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Captain Asshole.